The night had barely started when the doors of Murphy's bar swung open. It was one of those quiet corners of town where lonely veterans, truckers, and small-town folks went to forget life for a while. But tonight was about to become the kind of story people whisper about for years. The camera zooms in on a man sitting alone at the counter. His hands, rough, scarred, steady, wrapped around a chipped mug of black coffee. His name was Jack Hunter, a single dad, a veteran who had seen too much war and too little peace. He wasn't drinking like most men did to drown memories. He was just existing. And then they walked in. Two young women, identical twins, maybe mid-20s. The kind of beauty that turned heads, but it wasn't just that. They had a certain confidence, the kind that came from training, from danger, from a life of secrets. Their laughter filled the bar, genuine and warm. For a second, Jack smiled. Something about them reminded him of his late wife's kindness, and of the daughters he raised alone. But the smile faded fast when three cops from out of town swaggered in behind them. Not the good kind, the kind that wear the badge like a weapon. Drunk, loud, and cruel. They circled the girls like wolves. "Hey sweetheart," one sneered, placing a hand on the twin's shoulder. "Why don't you let real men buy you a drink?" The twin tried to laugh it off politely, but the man tightened his grip. The other sister stepped in, calm but firm. "We said no, officer. Please step back." That, please, should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. Jack's hand tightened on his mug. He'd seen this kind of thing too many times. In war zones, in streets, in bars just like this. His instincts screamed to stay out of it. He didn't want trouble. He'd promised his daughters he'd never fight again. But when one of the cops shoved the girl against the bar, everything inside him snapped. He rose, slow, steady, like a ghost waking up. The bartender froze. Everyone knew that look in Jack's eyes. The kind of look that said someone was about to regret their choices. Jack walked over, calm as a storm before it breaks. "She said no," he said quietly. The drunk cop laughed. "You got a problem, old man." Jack's voice didn't rise. "I said, let her go." The next few seconds were a blur of motion. One cop reached for his gun, but Jack moved faster. A twist, a strike, a crash, the man hit the floor, gasping for air. Another cop swung, but Jack ducked and drove his shoulder into him, sending him sprawling over a table. Bottles shattered, people screamed, chairs flew. When the dust settled, three unconscious officers lay on the ground, groaning. Jack stood there breathing hard, not from exhaustion, but from control. He hadn't gone full force. Not yet. The twins looked at him with wide eyes, shock and something else, respect. One of them whispered, "Who are you?" Jack wiped the blood from his knuckles and muttered, "Just a dad who's seen enough." He turned to leave, thinking he'd just get home before things got messy with the law. But before he could step out, the girls stopped him. "Wait," one said, flashing a badge. The silver gleamed under the flickering neon light. "FBI." Jack froze. "Or Special Agents Taylor and Tessa Monroe," she said, her voice steady. "Those men weren't regular cops, they were dirty. We've been tracking them for months." Jack blinked. He'd just stepped into a federal sting operation without even knowing it. And yet, it all made sense now. Their calm, their confidence, their refusal to be intimidated. The older twin smiled faintly. "You probably just saved our lives." Jack let out a breath and chuckled. "Guess old habits die hard." The police backup arrived minutes later, lights flashing, sirens blaring, but this time the twins handled everything. They cleared Jack's name, explained what really happened, and made sure those corrupt officers were taken away in cuffs. Afterward, outside the bar, the cool night air felt heavy with relief. Tessa looked at Jack. "You've got skills. Tactical awareness, restraint, precision. You ever think of teaching again?" He shook his head with a soft smile. "I've got two daughters who already think I'm a superhero. That's enough." But before they left, Taylor reached into her pocket and handed him a card. "If you ever change your mind, we could use someone like you." Jack tucked it away without answering. As they walked off, the neon sign buzzed behind him, Murphy's Bar, and the reflection of red and blue lights faded into the night. Later that week, Jack sat at home, watching his daughters do their homework. The younger one looked up and asked, "Dad, are you ever gonna go back to work?" Jack smiled, sipping his coffee. "I already do, sweetheart. Every day I protect what matters most, you." The story fades out there, but the message lingers. Real strength isn't in violence, it's in knowing when to use it, and when to walk away. If you're watching this, remember, heroes aren't born from medals or fame. They're born from quiet courage, love, and sacrifice. And if you felt this story, take a second to like the video, share it, and subscribe. Because stories like Jack's deserve to be heard. Every dad who stands for what's right, every person who protects someone without expecting anything back, that's a real warrior.